Like I mentioned in my earlier video, if you want to permanently fix any problem, you first have to understand it properly. Otherwise, you'll just be treating the symptoms and not the actual cause. I'm not going to confuse you with complicated medical terms, but I do want to give you a clear understanding of what's happening under your skin so you can fix it the right way instead of falling for temporary hacks. Most people rely on superficial treatments like pore strips, scrubs, fancy face washes, or taping and pulling their skin, thinking they're cleaning their pores, but all they're really doing is irritating their skin and forcing the problem deeper. The blackheads and whiteheads end up coming back because you never addressed what's happening underneath. So first, let's understand what blackheads and whiteheads actually are. In dermatology, they're called comedones. There are two types: closed comedones, which are whiteheads, and open comedones, which are blackheads. Blackheads form when dead skin cells and sebum, that's the natural oil your skin produces, collect inside a pore and then react with the oxygen in the air. That oxidation is what turns the material inside the pore dark, which is why they appear black on the surface. They're called open comedones because there's no skin layer covering the top of the pore. Whiteheads are different because they stay closed off under a thin layer of skin, so oxygen can't reach the material inside, and the buildup of dead skin cells and oil gets trapped, clogging the hair follicle. The real root of all this is the sebaceous gland, also known as the oil gland. When that gland starts malfunctioning, usually due to hormonal fluctuation, it begins producing excess oil. Normally, this oil helps keep your skin moisturized, protects it from bacteria, prevents water from evaporating, and even helps regulate temperature. But when too much oil mixes with dead skin cells and bacteria, it turns into pus and blockage. Now here's where most people make the mistake that makes it even worse. They think washing their face 10 times a day will clean everything out, so they overwash, scrub hard, use harsh cleansers, or sterilize their skin with alcohol-based products. What they don't realize is that by doing that, they're killing off the friendly bacteria on their skin, like Propionibacterium acnes and other beneficial strains that actually protect the skin from harmful bacteria. When these good bacteria die off, the bad bacteria get an open invitation to multiply, leading to inflammation and infection inside the pores. So now the question is, why is this whole problem happening in the first place? It comes down to androgen hormones, which disrupt sebaceous gland function. That's why blackheads and acne are so common during teenage years, because hormones like testosterone, yes, both males and females produce it, spike during puberty. When testosterone converts into a more potent form called DHT, or dihydrotestosterone, it increases oil gland activity, enlarges the pores, and ramps up oil production. But DHT itself rises because of high insulin levels and a hormone called IGF-1, or insulin-like growth factor. So if you want to stop blackheads from forming, you don't start with the skin, you start with your diet. There are three major food triggers that spike insulin and IGF-1. First, refined carbohydrates like pasta, pizza, burgers, sandwich bread, non-white flour, sugar, breakfast cereals, basically all the stuff most people eat daily without thinking. These hidden carbs send your insulin levels skyrocketing. Second, dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt. People think milk is healthy, but commercially produced milk today is loaded with progesterone, growth hormones, and androgens that directly stimulate oil production in the skin and make blackheads worse. Third, omega-6 heavy oils. Not all omega-6s are bad, but the cheap vegetable oils used in most cooking, especially the kind used repeatedly in fried foods and snacks, are already oxidized from high heat and become toxic inside the body, causing inflammation that worsens oil gland activity. So if you're serious about clearing blackheads and whiteheads naturally, you need to cut down refined carbs, avoid regular dairy, and stop using industrial seed oils. Instead, switch to healthier fats like fish oil, flaxseed oil, chia seed oil, or cod liver oil, which not only give you omega-3s but also provide vitamins A and D that help regulate skin health. Add more seafood like salmon and sardines to your diet. These oils reduce inflammation, shrink the sebaceous glands, and balance out excessive oil production. On top of that, vitamin A derivatives, like natural retinoids, help speed up skin cell turnover, reduce stickiness between cells, and allow dead cells to shed naturally instead of clogging the pores. If you look at how our diets have changed over the last 20 to 30 years, it's no surprise skin issues have skyrocketed. Refined carbs, sugar, artificial sweeteners, desserts, they've become a daily staple instead of an occasional treat. So the real cure isn't found in a bottle or a strip. It's found in understanding your body, respecting your skin's natural system, and making smart choices from the inside out. Take care of yourself, and your skin will reflect it.